Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk about something extremely terrifying and is one of my favorite things in horror. It is when you have a loosely themed trilogy that aren't direct trilogies, more common in movies, but there are few in books. Like Peter Straub's Blue Rose trilogy comes to mind. And I aim to change that, of course, with my own horror trilogy of novels that are a themed trilogy. But more on that later. First, what do I mean by this? I know not everyone is into obscure horror trivia as I am the phantasmic Paul Jessup. And this might be a completely new concept to you, so here, let me show you by example. My first exposure to this idea was through John Carpenter's loosely themed horror trilogy, the Apocalypse Trilogy. These three movies are The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. Really, these are my favorite Carpenter films, and it's so cool to watch them back to back and watch them play off each other, bouncing ideas back and forth, themes, concepts, thoughts. I saw In the Mouth of Madness in theaters the day it came out. It was my first official R-rated movie. When I didn't have to lie about my age or buy tickets for another movie and sneak in to see. I did that with a lot of movies before I was 18, I'm sure we all did. And I rented a lot of them, for sure, at the VHS rental place. We really all did. Years later, I'd find out that Carpenter considered my three favorite movies of his as a loosely linked trilogy. And from that point on, I started to uncover more and more like that. By loosely linked, they tend to follow a theme, maybe have similar characters or a setting or repeating actors, but never explicit sequels, with one following the other. The next series I discovered that was Argento's Three Mothers trilogy, one that heavily influenced my own novel, Glass House, which is the first in my own loosely linked horror trilogy. But again, I will get back to that later. These three movies are based on both Fritz Leiber's Mother of Darkness novel and Thomas de Quincey's dark opium dream of a poem, Suspiria de Profundis. Again, these movies were loosely related by a theme and some ties to de Quincey's poem and a bit of Mother of Darkness, but they weren't directly related sequels. After that, I found about Fuji's Gates of Hell trilogies. These were City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery, and again, loosely connected. This one themed by opening the gates of hell and what apocalyptic things crawl out of it and destroy our world. Excuse me. I'm getting verklempt. In recent times, I discovered that Japanese horror director of Ju-on also did his own loosely themed horror trilogy, explicitly inspired by Carpenter's. He called it his Scary Village trilogy, and the ones in that one are Howling Village, Suicide Forest Village, and Oxhead Village, with these being a kind of folk horror-inspired take on themed horror trilogy. With a lot of these trilogies, you get maybe one or two good movies and at least one stinker. That's the way it is with all anthologies, though, and these movies are kind of like that. They're loose anthologies with bare thread connections between them. Personally, I find all three Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogies to be fantastic, but the Three Mothers I mostly enjoyed Suspiria and Inferno. I found Mother of Tears just a little lacking. It made me sad. It gave me Mother of Tears. With the Gates of Hell trilogy, I really liked The Beyond, and I found City of the Living Dead and House by the Cemetery to be really good too, though not quite as good as that one. As for the Village trilogy, they're okay. The one amazing standout is Oxhead Village. That one is fantastic. The rest, they're great horror. Horror is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still really fucking good. So Paul, what about your own loosely themed horror trilogy? Well, They're all out from Underland, and they're all currently available in your local bookstores, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but may I suggest that you go to your local independent bookstore, or if you're a fan of ebooks, may I suggest Waitlist Books rather than Amazon, because, as they say, shop local. It's the best way to go. I just finished up my own loosely linked horror trilogy. My recent book that was released October 8th, Cancer Eats the Heart, was the third book in the trilogy. I call this the Hungry Void trilogy. The first one, of course, like I said before, was Glass House. Look at that. It's beautiful. The second one was Daughter of the Wormwood Star. Oh, yes. Look at that cover. These are absolutely gorgeous books. Look at them. So wonderful. So, how do they work? What are the links between them, you ask? Let's start off with Glass House. In each of the three books, there's a mention of terrifying houses. Glass House, it is the Gemini house. Daughter of the Wormwood Star, it is the house of sky and shadow that the cult dreams about every night, and that is a trap waiting for them. In Cancer Eats the Heart, it is the cannibal house, the home of one Oliver Haddo, aka Old Wick, a terrifying old gentleman, a sorcerer who hunts vampires and steals their bones in order to cast horrific spells. His house is a trap of sorts, and he's trying to bring the great empty void at the heart of the universe, what created the start of the universe, that it despises all living things, to our world to devour it so he could recreate it anew in his own image. This ties together so much of what's in Glass House, which also mentions Oliver Haddo as the one who built the house, the Gemini house in Glass House, a house that is also a trap. This one for the mothers of darkness, the mothers of sorrow, Mother Suspiria, oh geez, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but the mother of sorrows, the mother of tears, and the mother of darkness. And he wanted to trap them in here so that they would power his own dark spells. And it's mentioned here, a Daughter of the Wormwood Star, the emptiness in the heart of everything, and the strange serial-killing cult that's also connected to Oliver Haddo in some strange way. All three books, oops, I bumped my camera, are available now. Bookstores everywhere. Read them. Oops, why is that upside down? I can totally do this. Look at me, I'm a professional. One goes up, the other goes down. There we go. Okay, so Glass House. Daughter of the Wormwood Star. Cancer Eats the Heart. Each one a tale of terror connected to the others, playing off of each other, riffing off of each other, cutting you deep into the bone with terror. Read them one at a time, in order, out of order, it doesn't matter because they're loosely linked. They're not direct sequels, and so they'll still work either way. And now I'll also talk about a loosely linked duology. Suicide Music and Daughter of the Wormwood Star. They're more like sister novels, connected to each other in strange ways. The emptiness of the other three books makes itself present in Suicide Music, but character names and ideas and different themes bounce back and forth between these two that aren't in these other two books. So there you have it. My own loosely linked horror trilogy, as well as my loosely linked horror duology. Buy them at bookstores everywhere. But don't read them at night. You might just let in the most terrible thing in the world. And remember, ghouls and gents, cats and kittens, and non-binary vampire friends of mine, stay spooky.